And now it's the boys on the hill. Ralph Jeezy, Slim Marshall, Thomas Black. How's it going, fellas?
Good, man. Good. I think we'll
Great.
have a legendary show tonight. What y'all think?
I think it's
Yeah,
gonna be a good one too, fellas.
I
Think it's
just
gonna be
got
a good one
audio.
too.
Like, apologize to the fans. I just got audio feed right now, having technical difficulties.
Thomas
I will
Black
be
is blacked
Thomas
out,
Black
as
for
you can
real.
see.
I'm blacked out for real.
Yeah.
But I'm here though. I'm here though.
Oh yeah. That's the most important part you hear. I remember to hit record the first time tonight.
All right.
Won't make that mistake again. Tonight we won't have Watts with us. People, he has some obligations that he has to do with good old Uncle Sam. But we have a special guest for you tonight. We
Oh yeah.
have the head coach from Dillard University, Mr. Trennis Grant, with us tonight. Welcome to the show, Coach.
How you
So
guys doing, man?
Man, we're doing good. We're doing good. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you guys for having me.
Tonight.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
let's
Thank
talk
y'all for
about
having me.
how. Yeah, let's just talk about how Coach Grant actually got on our show. Like I was browsing Twitter, and I saw Coach Grant put out a bulletin looking for players, and I'm like, "This a man we got to talk to, man. He looking for some dogs, so we gotta put him on, help him get some recruits out here." So we kind of conversed on Twitter, set everything up, and tonight he's on the show with us tonight. So, Coach, thanks a lot for coming on. We appreciate it.
No problem. No problem. I'm always on Twitter, man. That's where you, I guess you would say, you get your dogs from. Twitter, Instagram. I'm on everything. Searching for players, man. So, it's an honor and a pleasure. Thank y'all.
Oh yeah. Hey y'all, Coach got a swag background, man. Coach got a real heavy swag background. He done been at A&M, Pine Bluff, Jordan.
yeah,
You
we're gonna
know,
skip that one.
he done been around. He done been around, man. So I think we're gonna have some good tonight, man. So Coach is a Mississippi boy, y'all. He from Canton.
Uh-oh.
He from Canton. You know what I'm saying? So the great
Formerly
hometown of the
Canton.
great Janana Lewis. J.
Uh-oh,
Lewis,
Jew.
Jew.
yeah. He might have a little Jew in him. We don't know. He might have a little Jew in him, depending on how much time he spent in Jackson. He probably didn't go past the county line though.
That's false. That's false. That's very false. Right off of Ellis, right over there where y'all at.
Okay.
Hey,
Oh.
I've been there, man. Actually, my family moved down there. I could walk to Jackson. I used to walk to the Assembly Center, go watch, games and stuff like that. After I graduated high school, so yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm not from Jackson, but I've been in all the hoods down there. So I mean,
Did
when
you
you're
eat
from
you some
Canton,
Eddie?
man.
Did you eat
Gotcha.
you some Eddies and Rubies when you was over there on Ellis?
So Coach, just give us a little bit more in-depth background about yourself.
Gotcha. Of course, I'm from Canton, Mississippi. Went to Canton High School, graduated from there. Went to Holmes Community College, where I played 2 years. Left there, went to a school in Oklahoma. Didn't like that school. Went to Arkansas Tech University, where I finished my playing career. And then I wanted to jump into coaching. I wanted to see what it was about. Originally, the plan was to go back to my high school, give those kids something they never had, which was not the, I hope no one takes offense to this, but not the football coach who didn't know much about baseball, because we had a really good head coach at one point in time who knew a lot about baseball, but then he ended up leaving because he wanted to coach football. So didn't want to get the hand-me-down football coach or whatever. So sat down with the head coach, with some head coaches, and somebody was like, "You need to coach college," and I was like, I don't, ain't no money in that. I don't want to do that. It's a grind, yeah, but I think you need to coach college. So, man, I probably filled out every application that popped up on the internet. I was filling them out. Nobody would interview me. Nobody would hire me. So I was going to do softball. Emailed the coach at Hendrix College, the AD at the time. She was also the head softball coach. She said, "Yeah, we'll have you, but I want you to talk to our baseball coach. He's having a wedding." And he's on. He'll be back a little while. So ended up actually talking to him. He was like, "Yeah, come on." So Henderson College is where I started off my career as a volunteer assistant, um, coaching, but I was also working in the I worked at a bank, Arkansas Federal Credit Union. So I was moving up through the rankings in the banking, also doing coaching. So I would leave work, go straight to practice if I could go to practice if they weren't done. Um, did that for 2 years. Moved on to Arkansas Pine Bluff where I got the assistant bookstore manager job. Believe it or not, originally I wasn't. I was about to be done with baseball. I wasn't going to be coaching anymore. So I'm just
So,
told
Coach, what is a Coach, what does an assistant bookstore manager actually do?
Believe it or not, I wasn't. I started my position title when I first started. For the first 2 weeks, said assistant bookstore manager. When I got there, I leave and go on, I guess you would say, a small vacation with my wife. The bookstore manager gets in a horrible accident, shatters her ankle. I'm 2 weeks in. Now I'm the acting store manager, and we got to set up and get ready for the fall. That's the biggest part of, all the students are coming in and stuff like that. So, man, it's you just ordering different things. You making sure the biggest thing about the bookstore was the textbooks. You're selling textbooks and stuff like that. So you're just making sure everything is going to run smoothly throughout the bookstore. So basically, like your managerial stuff. But we had no team, so I had to not only be the acting store manager, learn all the textbook systems, learn everything in that thing, and then also dealing with a crazy band director because his band stuff is not there. I knew nothing about that. I'm new here. So football season, their first game is in September. This is August. He's coming over there saying, "Where's my stuff at?" And I'm like, "Hey man, I'm not the one, but I'll call around. I'll make some calls." So just did that for a while, and then I went over to talk with Coach James. At first, he wasn't feeling me. He didn't really know me that well. He didn't really want to give me a chance, so he ended up giving me a shot. Then he ended up kind of, a lot liking me and whatever, and kind of understanding that I had kind of had a good knowledge of the game, but I needed some guidance. I needed some leadership. So he mentored me. He threw me out there to the wolves, coaching third base, kind of helping with the offense, and I learned a lot there, if you would say. So moved on from there. I was at Pine Bluff for 2 years. Moved on from there. Went to Alabama A&M. The day I get to Alabama A&M, they get hit with every sanction you can possibly think of academically. We couldn't recruit junior college kids or anything like that. So they get hit with sanctions, fines, penalties. We can't go to the postseason, and we can't recruit junior college kids. So now we got a lot of seniors leaving. So I got to go and recruit freshmen. So I'm on the horn. I'm traveling. Atlanta's like 3 hours from Huntsville, so I'm booking it to Atlanta every chance I get. Going to see players, going to the PG tournaments, going to WWB, all those different things. Brought in 17 freshmen that year after we had just had a okay season. We I think we finished like 12-10 in conference. Beat some big schools as well. I think one of the big schools we beat was UAB, and stuff like that. Next year, COVID happens. The day COVID happens, AD bring me and the head coach in and fires us. All the kids call and say, "Hey, coach, what are we supposed to do?" I mean, I don't know. You guys just go home. I don't know what's going to happen here. None of us knows. Different things like that. So I ended up getting fired. Going into they start travel back up in like around about September, October. I started working for this travel ball organization and working for Amazon, making great money, believe it or not. Still wanted to be a college coach. Coach Crenshaw was kind of looking out for me. Ended up calling me. He got the interim head coach job at Southern. He called me and said, "Hey, you want to come down and you want to help out?" I was like, "Sure. Let me get the okay from the wife. If you need to, I'll talk to her." I was like, "Nah, bro, you don't know my wife. She's not going for that. Nah, let me talk to her." So, long story short, we ended up going to Southern. I got there in February. The season started February 14th. We go throughout the season, kind of rough on the hitter on the offensive side. The guys weren't listening, and believe it or not, I mean, why would they? They got a completely new hitting coach and Coach Julian, and then I'm sitting there assisting. It was a hard mix of us trying to just battling with the kids back and forth on what the hitting philosophy should be. Coach Jackson had left to be the president of the draft MLB Draft League, so he was their hitting coach. He was, and they had bought into that. So now you're getting a whole new philosophy, a whole new way of hitting, all those different things, and us bringing our own system to it. So, but we ended up getting hot. They started to listen, and it started to click. And I was like, "Oh, okay, I get it. Okay, this is how we're gonna do it. Cool." So you learn little things to kind of say to them and whatnot. And we got hot. We got in the tournament. We after we lost that first game in Prairie View, nobody wanted to see us. It wasn't happening. And when we beat Prairie View, I think it was like 24-3. I was like, yeah, it's on. So we ended up getting hot, got to the championship game. Lo and behold, we ended up playing against Jackson. 27-0, fans talking crap when we get off the bus. Man, my own family was telling me, hey, y'all finna lose. And I'm like, okay, we'll see. That's fine. I mean, I get it that zero is behind in that losing column, but hey, it's baseball. All it takes is one. We're gonna take all our kids. They have nothing to lose, versus they had a lot to prove. You know what I mean? So ended up winning the championships 2021. Southern was back to back minus the COVID year, and then got to this spot. So originally, from what I was told, I applied for this job in October, November, sometime like that. Completely forgot about this job. I'm gearing up for Southern season. This is January. We about to get ready to a month away. We didn't started practicing all this stuff. Get a call saying, "Hey, we want you to interview for Dillard University." Who? What? When did I apply for this? And I was like, okay, I'll do the interview. So believe it or not, I did the interview kind of begrudgingly because I couldn't remember applying for it. So I was like, let me do the interview. Was not prepared. In my opinion, I had the worst interview of my life, the worst. Um, End up being a finalist. I was like, oh, okay, let me take this seriously. So do a virtual tour. I was like, oh, okay, this campus is pretty nice, man. Let me really take this serious. Do all my stuff, have a good presentation for the AD. When I tell you our conversation was literally a good conversation, and my interview ran over into the other guy's interview, I didn't even get to ask her not one question. Not one. It was a great conversation. We talked, we laughed. It was an enjoyable interview. I ended up getting picked. So I was like, it must be God saying that, hey, it's time for you to be a head coach. Because like I was telling, I tell a lot of people, man, I just want to be a paid assistant coach again. I just want to get paid to be a coach, get on the road, recruit, enjoy being a coach. Well, this door ended up opening, and now, I'm a head coach now. I mean, we all have those opportunities, and we all want to be a head coach one day. It just came for me a little bit earlier. So now here we are.
Hey, Coach, got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, when you're going through the process as a player, what was it that made you, say, yeah, I want to be a coach. I can do this.
Man, it's the love for kids, man. I had already had going into junior college. I had two kids. So it was the love for kids and me wanting to continue to be around the game. Like for some reason, I knew that my chances of going pro were different than a lot of other guys because I had those two kids. People were gonna think I was damaged goods and all those different things, but I had that mindset early, so I was like, I'm gonna go back to my high school and give those kids that something that they never had, and that's where it all stemmed from. So, me wanting to give back to them because I mean, think about it. I went to all black high school. Out of the 4 years I went there, we may have had one Caucasian kid come through there. So it was like, and I always told myself, hey man, look, I want to be in a part of a mixed team to just kind of see what the baseball spectrum is like. So that's how I ended up going to Holmes and it just all stemmed from there, wanting to coach and go back and give them. So it started from wanting to go back to my high school and give those kids something that they never had, and that was, in my opinion, a coach who played in college and then as well as came back to give something back.
So, Coach, how do you think those years of experience as an assistant coach, starting off at the D3 level at Hendrix, then moving on to Pine Bluff, then to A&M, and eventually to Southern, how do you think all of those stops help you be prepared now to be a head coach and run your own program?
Well, when you think about it, man, you think about it. So I played junior college baseball, right? I played Division II baseball, coach at the Division III level, coach at the Division I level, right? Only thing I hadn't done was be a part of the NIA organization. Now I'm coaching at the NIA level. So I've been a part of so many different sides of baseball and what people like to say the different levels, the different spectrums, organizations, and different things like that. So man, being at Hendrix, it showed me a lot. I mean, it gave me the sense of understanding how to recruit without having scholarships and having the academic dollars and kids, how you have to go out there to academic kids and different things like that. But you also still want to fulfill your need as a baseball coach and be really good as a baseball team. Um, I didn't have much to say or anything in the recruiting process at Hendrix. I was just along for the ride. I can't lie to you. I was helping. I was happy. Um, and different things like that. I had just got married, so I was happy. Um, my real experience, Arkansas Pine Bluff, getting out there, being a third base coach, not ever coaching third in my life, being accountable for runs, being accountable for getting the kids to see a good offensive spectrum, getting them to see be organized, and getting them to understand, hey, we got to continue to do things the right way. Because previously, before I got there, they had ran off uh, 3 championships in a row in the West. So but going on to that, Alabama A&M, so it all kind of just continued to play. It prepared me for this spot that I'm in now. Being at Pine Bluff when he only had 4.6 scholarships prepared me for recruiting now. Being at Alabama A&M, yes, we had the scholarships, but you can only recruit high school kids. It prepared me to recruit high school kids now. And then going to Southern, where you had a good bit of both, talking to different people, making relationships, and you don't meet a stranger in the state of Louisiana. It prepared me, to go down to New Orleans and still not meet a stranger, be around great people, great food, and now you just put your own vision, your own twist in it, and building your own program. Like not a lot of people are going to be able to say, "I started this thing from scratch," and if I do it correctly, I mean the sky's the limit.
Yeah, coach, your background, especially your non-baseball work history, is simply amazing. I'm fascinated by it. Working in banking, doing Amazon, bookstore guy, and now you're at Dillard University, where there's had not been a previous foundation, and you're the foundation. Like, how do you start to put a program together that, despite all the experience you have in recruiting and being under some head coaches throughout your coaching career?
Man, to be honest with you, it's using what all those guys taught me, using what Coach James taught me at Pine Bluff, using the experience that I had with the head coach at Alabama A&M, and then coming down to Crenshaw. Even Coach Jackson, when he left, he was still mentoring me. Edwin Thompson, that's at Georgetown now, mentored me, trying to help me with jobs and different things like that. So you get a good base of guys who understand who you are and what you're trying to go to. I mean, when we think about it, man, it's not it's unfortunate, but things are very different. I'm gonna say that for a black head coach in baseball. So we're just continuing trying to fight the good battle, and continue trying to get our names heard and get our voices heard. So it all stems from that. I think he's continuing to listen to those guys, hearing those pregame speeches. I still, run through my head today and say, "Oh man, I'm gonna use that when I become a head coach." So just taking all those different things that you learn from all those different programs and bringing it to your own. mean, think about it, man. I've been at 4 different institutions. This makes my 5th. If I don't have a good philosophy and a good plan by now, I'm not doing my homework correctly. I'm not continuing to do my research correctly. I'm not actually getting anything of. I'm not being consistent, because that's what I'm going to ask my players to do, to be consistent and retaining information that's given to me and being able to use it.
Okay, coach. So, being that you're starting the program from scratch, your name is going to be the first name in the books of stats or whatever going on with baseball at that college.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you start?
Man, you start recruiting. That's where it stemmed for me. And I know a lot of people say, man, what about facilities? What about this? What about gear? What about that? Nope. I ain't tell nobody nothing about no gear. I didn't tell them anything about anything. I sold them on Dillard University, being a high academic institution that it is, and Coach Trennis Grant. Other than that, I may have said, hey, we got some Adidas or whatever. I may have, they see the polos or whatever. But other than that, man, I sold myself. And that's what a lot of kids gravitate to. Being able to talk to them about how you would develop them and teach them and different things like that. Because you're recruiting guys that are potentially either that somewhat in your philosophy of coaching, they remind you of something that you love to see. So you're recruiting guys that are going to fit that spectrum of and continue to be an example, create a culture. Because as a coach, you can create a culture all you want to, but if those players don't drive it, you won't see a lot of success. So I'm gonna create the culture. I'm gonna set the tone early, and they're gonna have to drive it. And with our meeting that we're gonna have here soon, that's gonna be basically my message.
I like that, Coach. Just to piggyback off of Thomas, with you building the program from scratch, what have been some of the pros and some of the cons?
Let's start with the cons first, because you can always go back and bring back that positivity. So probably the cons of starting a program, if your institution doesn't already have a baseball field, that's the bad facilities. That's I guess you would say, a con of, and then as well as, guys want to see, have you had a season? Has there been anything about baseball? And if you don't have that, they're like, yeah, nah, I don't want to play there. So that's been a con for me. But then some pros of it is the people that deal it, man. They've been helping me tremendously. The academic, the not academic staff, the admission staff, Miss Monica White. I can run down all their names, but her staff has been absolutely tremendous, helping me with a lot of different things, and helping me basically getting a lot of different things going. Dr. Barnes, who's now the conference commissioner of the GS, the Gulf Coast. It started with her believing in the vision that I had, and what I was trying to put forth, and she put me in a position, and she's been very supportive, just like with the interim AD, Coach Rome. He's very supportive. His assistant, Coach Martin, Coach Spurgeon, Coach Nile, going to track, and all those different. They've laid a pretty good foundation in the athletic department, with especially with Coach Nile and Coach Spurgeon being winning a lot of games, and Coach Nile, his track team is always nationally ranked. So they set the bar high, and I love it. And I like that challenge, and I want to make sure we live up to that, and we're holding baseball accountable for Dillard University. So those are some pros for me. And then again, like I said, it's all me selling myself. It's nothing outside of what I don't have, or what we're going to get later. That's the biggest thing. It's me selling me.
Yeah, Coach, you talk about selling yourself, and you talk about selling the academic side of the university, but I would imagine one of the pros could possibly be pitching to these players. Like, you could be part of something new. You won't be just another
Right.
number. You'll probably get to play right away. Won't be sitting behind anybody. So how much of that is in your pitch too?
Believe it or not, I'm glad you said that. That is probably one of the biggest things. What I tell everybody, it's history. You're going to be a part of history. You're going to be a part of history when that first pitch is thrown. You're going to be a part of history if we lose our first game. You're going to be a part of history when we win our first game, and then you're going to be a part of history if our last game is getting in the regional in the NII, and we get to a regional championship or anything like that. You're going to be a part of history. We have a winning season. You're going to be a part of history. So I tell those guys every time I talk to them when they call me about academics, hey, man, make sure you're doing everything right. We trying to make history. So making sure they understand that it's not just about the opportunity to play baseball, because like I tell them all the time, hey, there's a clock on your head, you don't see it, but it's the history. It's gonna be a grind, because I want to make this history the right history, not just, there can be some bad sides of history that we can be on, but I want to make sure it's the right history. So believe it or not, that is a big part of it. Making sure the guys understand, like one of my junior college kids that I recruited, he's the first ever Dillard baseball player to commit, and they want to write a story on him when he gets to campus. So he's going to be a part of history. Um, Even with my two high school kids that were the first two high school kids to commit, they're going to be a part of history because they're coming from the same high school here in Louisiana, and they're coming to a brand new program. So you got a lot of different kids with a lot of different stories that are coming in. So you figure out how to press those buttons and different things like that, and get them to understand how they can be attributes to what you're trying to do at Dillard.
As a quick follow up to that, like the program is starting out with little to no foundation, and you guys right now don't have a lot. Like, how do you gain the trust of these kids who probably don't know anything about Dillard University, realizing this is the first time they're going to have a baseball program? How do you say, hey, follow me to this unknown that we're going to go through?
Be an overshadowing big time example for them, because if they committed, first and foremost, they committed off of what I told them. They committed off of me. They committed off of me being a possible great teacher, a student of the game continuously, and wanting to help them grow in the game of baseball. So if they committed, it's all based on what I can provide and how they can continue to grow and get a quality education at Dillard University. So that's the biggest part for me, honestly.
All right, coach. So when you out there and when you first got out there to recruit, what was you looking for? Like, since you start from scratch and you building a team and you're recruiting, what do you? I know you already got your first commit, but what do teams like as a coach? What do you look for to build your team from start to beginning?
Um, so that's kind of hard to say, because you can't. I'm gonna tell you this: when I first started, I was looking for the very best baseball player I can get to say yes. That was the first thing. I wanted to find somebody who would believe in my vision, just me, nobody else committed, and I wanted to see if I can get them to say yes. Once I got them to say yes, it started to just trickle. So now you start to build a baseball team. So now you got your whiteboard, you got your depth chart up. Now you're saying, okay, this person goes here. Now what else do I need? So now you stem your program off of the caliber of that first player. The first player I ever got was a junior college player. So um, he is a very athletic kid, can swing it, can run. So now everybody else needs to be able to do that or better. So now you just start to figure that out. That's for the junior college kids and the transfers. My first two high school kids, one's a pitcher slash second baseman, and then the other one's a shortstop. Very athletic, can kind of bang a little bit, but they spread the ball all over the field. So now with my high school kids, they got to be able to do the same thing or better. With the pitcher, with the kid who's a pitcher slash second baseman, if you can't pitch and compete like he did when I saw him, against a really good Louisiana prep baseball team, and he had them on the ropes, just some errors in the field, they would have won that game. But if you can't pitch like that, you won't be able to play for me at Dillard, especially coming out of high school. And then with the junior college kids, the same thing. So everything I started with those levels of the high school kid and the transfer, then you have to be doing a lot better for as a recruit. So
So, Coach, with Louisiana being such a hotbed for baseball talent, not only on the
mhm.
high school level, but also with the travel ball organizations such as the Louisiana Knights and things of that nature. Do you see it being any problems of getting the talent that you need in your home state?
Believe it or not, man, I actually know those guys very well. I actually um, am coaching a team with the Louisiana Knights, so I think, and I made some really good relationships in the state already, especially with the travel ball circuit. Still mingling with some high school coaches and different things like that. But the travel ball circuit here in Louisiana, I don't think it will be a problem. Again, like I said, I think the biggest hurdle was us getting over was just because we're a new program. That was the biggest thing. So next year, going into when you have a season, kids are able to look up your record, see how many players you got, and all those different things. Look at uniforms, the so-called stuff that they like to see. But they'll be able to look at that and kind of see, okay, maybe this is a fit for me. Let me hear what the coach has to say, or um, maybe I need to kind of look at some different things if this is not working for me in the state and I want to stay close to home. Dillard University is an option. So, but it has to be an option for both of us on both sides. You can't just be interested in me. I have to be interested in you as well, especially after this first season. Because if it goes how I think it's going to go, yeah, it's going to be real nice. It's going to be real good, and you're going to get some quality recruits off of it.
Yeah, speaking of in-state recruiting, you're not going to be just looking at junior college kids or high school kids. You're going to be recruiting against Southern. You're going to be recruiting against Grambling. You're going to be recruiting against our boy Holloway down in Xavier. You're going to be recruiting against like all these other schools that have just as good as baseball program as anywhere else across the region, across the country. So, how do you anticipate that going? How are you going to try to like navigate that?
Uh, I mean, again, it's all going to be off of selling myself, selling to the university, and then selling the program. Um, that's what it's going to stem from. Just because I can't, I can't give you the history that Southern has in baseball. You know what I mean? 28 championships. I can't give you that. Ricky Weeds, Lou Brock. I can't give you that. I can't give you what Grambling has in baseball. I can't give you what LSU has, Tulane has. I can't even give you right now. I can't give you what Xavier did to go to have their first season and go to the Black College World Series, the first year of it, and be in the championship game. I can't give you that right now. But what I can do is continue to sell me until we establish that foundation. We put that groundwork together, and we have a good season. Now I can start to compete and say, "Hey, look, this is what we did." You can match up the records and different things like that. But I never worry about what somebody else is doing. Yeah, we're going to recruit the same kids if they want to say, "Why would you go there?" Because they don't have this, they don't have that. Then I must be doing something right. If you gotta, in turn, talk about my school versus your school, I mean, it is what it is. A lot of coaches do that, but that's not me. That's not what we're going to do. Again, I'm going to sell myself, Dillard University, and then the baseball program.
All right, coach. All right, so you out there talking to a kid,
Mhm.
and he asks you, why would I want to go to the university? What do you tell him?
First off, you start off by saying, man, why wouldn't you want to go to Dillard? Dillard is the oldest HBCU in Louisiana that stem from two institutions, Straight University, New Orleans University, which merged to form Dillard University. So right there with your history, oldest HBCU in Louisiana, then as well as our education, right? Um, We got the number 3 nursing school in the state. Out of small schools, we're the number 13 film school. Out of business, our business school is ranked number 20 in the nation in small schools. So there's a lot of different history and academic prominence in that as far as the education side. When it comes down to the athletic side, we have history of being champions, right? By track and field and volleyball are holding the torch and running with it right now for us. Only thing I'm selling is, hey, come give baseball a shot. You're going to get a quality education. That's bar none. That's hands down. You're going to be a part of different internships and stuff like that because everybody's coming to New Orleans. Everybody's hosting something. There's always something going on in at Dillard University. I don't care what it is. I mean, they shoot, man. How many people can say Marshawn Lynch was in their gym walking around just touring like, dang, I like this dog. And we sitting there like, bro, you Marshawn Lynch. And they filming a movie at our school for 3 weeks. Anthony Mackie's on campus in our building. They shooting a movie, all those different things. So, a lot of people can say that they've had movies filmed on it. I mean, believe it or not, Benjamin Button was filmed in our swimming pool. That swimming pool scene, that's at Dillard University. So, it's a lot of history in there that you mentioned to the kids and different things like that. Like, just like it's something like this. We have a tradition, we have a history. There's only 2 times when you step on, we have a thing, a lone strip of grass is called the Oaks. When you hear people, if you ever come to Dillard, you hear people say, not only say welcome to Dillard, but they'll say welcome to the Oaks, welcome to the Oaks. Just like, every campus has their own different saying or mantra or different things like that. We say welcome to the Oaks. Well, there's only twice when you step on the Oaks. Once when you doing your new student orientation, and then the second time you step on it is when you're graduating. So that's a history, that's a legacy that's been going back for years and years and years, ever since Dillard University was formed from those two colleges. Is there baseball history that's a part of Dillard University? Not under the Dillard University names, but those 2 other institutions, Straight College and New Orleans University, they had baseball. I have both of those pictures. So I'm going to line those pictures up and show our guys, hey, look, this is what you have to live up to. These guys, their legacy is entrenched in these grounds, in this campus. You guys got to put something forward because your pictures are going to be right beside theirs because you're creating history. So, yeah.
Coach, I keep hearing you I've heard you say history. How important is it to you being the first head coach to make sure that the program gets to running right and to set the prestige and the legacy of the program? How important is that to you?
Again, man, that's history. Man, that's real important to me because like when I had my interview, I asked Dr. Barnes, why Dillard, why baseball, why now? And she laid it all out for me. And then the first one of the best lines I think she said to me is, "This is your baby. What you do with it, the sky's the limit. If you don't do anything with it, it's not gonna be good. But if you do what I think you're gonna do, that I've hired you for, and the quality coach that I think you are, and from what I hear from all your references, you're gonna do great." So it's gonna be that legacy of making sure I do what I'm supposed to do. That it's simple as that. If the program's gonna run off of me, it's gonna start that way. So that first year, it's very important. It's very important that we hit the ground running. It's very important. I'm on the guys in the group me already about, hey, getting stuff done. We have a hard deadline. Make sure your clearances is done by August 1st because I don't want to have any conversations because I will run you literally when you get to campus. We can do orientation, all that stuff. You get your physical. Hey, gentlemen, let's run. We hitting the ground running because it's important to me that we take care of the little things. If you don't take care of the stuff that you need to do on the front end with admissions, then making sure you got your schedules turned in to Coach Grant so that he can build a practice plan and all those different things, we're starting off on a bad foot all those little things matter. And then it goes on into not just baseball sense and being a part of an academic institution, but it also goes on into real life, time, time management, right? Being able to present something to an employer, right? All those things matter. Make sure you show up dressed correctly. I mean, we talk. I'm talking about it in my meeting on tomorrow. That we need to make sure that we have um, a white shirt, a blue shirt, a black tie, and a royal blue tie. Guys need to have suit coat jacks, black, so that we can look presentable. There's going to be sometimes there's some things that happen on campus where we got to dress up. Hey guys, it's cold outside. Let me see you guys put on that suit coat jacket, right? Let me see you guys look good. And not only will they do it, as a coach, I'm gonna lead by example. I'm gonna make sure that I got on my suit. I'm gonna be looking good and different things like that as well. So it's very important that I lead by example. The program is gonna go off of me, and I'm gonna make sure I do what I'm supposed to do and make sure I'm setting a good foot um, for our guys and the programs to come. Even if I do really well and somebody says, "Hey, we want you to be a head coach somewhere else," whatever. I don't know what the future holds. I don't know what God has planned. I'm just living in the moment. I heard somebody say this, that I'm just being where my feet are right now. That's the only thing I'm doing. Believe it or not, I get calls about other jobs and different things like that. But right now, I'm just Dillard University through and through.
Like, Coach, as you know, and as we all know, at the black college level, baseball really isn't a sport that a lot of schools are heavily investing in. We've seen some programs shut down over the years. We've seen some teams leave some conferences over the years. In your interview for Dillard University, why were you told that the school wanted to invest in baseball?
So it was a part of a conference initiative, right? So the presidents got together and the ADs got together. It stemmed from the presidents and Dr. Barnes being the commissioner at one point in time. So every school in our conference is supposed to get baseball. So a lot of schools picked up baseball. I don't know if you guys just saw the article, but Oakwood University in Huntsville, they just got baseball. Flanders Smith in Little Rock, they got baseball. We just had Wiley come in. Tougaloo and Russ has already had baseball, and then we added baseball as well. Of course, Suno, which is Southern University New Orleans, they're bringing their athletic department back. So I would assume once they get everything back and running, starting with basketball and all those other sports, they're going to eventually get they're going to eventually get baseball as well because, like you said before, baseball is a big thing not only in the state of Louisiana, but it's a very big thing down in New Orleans as well. So she just, just that was the first thing, and then getting me to understand that hey, we're ready to do this. That was the biggest thing. We're ready to have baseball. And I was straightforward and honest. I said, "Are you sure?" Because baseball is expensive. It's not going to be basketball. You got to think about it. You got 40 players. You got to buy 40 pairs of shoes. You got to buy batting gloves. You got to buy helmets. All those different things, bats. I mean, it just goes on and on. So, as a college program, you need to be able to get those kids the stuff that they need. And so they kind of assured me we were going to be able to get a lot of different things done. I'm going to go out there after. We're going to go out and raise some fundraising dollars and work some parking lots and different things like that. We might work the parking lot at Bayou Classic or, well, probably not Bayou Classic because that's the Thanksgiving weekend, but Saints game, Pelican games, doing different things, selling brochures, selling T-shirts. We're going to figure out a way to make it happen so that guys, we can get the stuff. You know what I mean? We can get in to some good bats and glove deals with different people, and our guys are able to, you know, have gloves where they can put the university's logo on it and put grandmama's name on it who passed away years ago, and that could be their motivation. That could be something that make that kid tick. So I think we're gonna be okay. I'm not gonna sit here and say we're gonna have everything financially because we won't. We're not gonna by far. because I know a lot of teams that are in Division One that I've coached for that still don't have it. So, and our budget is going to be a lot less than theirs. But what I can tell you is, me being from where I'm from, I'm a coach who understands how to scrape the pennies together and go get after it, and not afraid to knock on doors and people say, "Hey, no, I can't do it." Okay, thank you, I appreciate it. Now I'm on their mind. I'm on their radar about fundraising and different things like that. They tell me the worst they can tell me is no. Like I told you guys in the beginning, I probably filled out over 100 applications. I only got one yes. That's all it takes. It could be that one yes that sparks the fire, and we start to get rolling. So
Coach, how I know Slim met you on Twitter, and you was calling out you need some players.
mhm.
Now you on a different platform. Um, what are I guess it's a new wave of recruiting.
Mhm.
What are some of the other platforms that you're using to help you in your recruiting when you can't go to these places? Like, what is your recruiting journey like?
So field level, of course. That's one thing that I use. And I always get the letters backward. I think it's NCSA. Use that as well. That's a platform. They do multiple. The field levels, NCSA. They do multiple different levels. I think some of the kids. I don't think the kids pay for field level, but I think they pay for the other one. Um, man, believe it or not, I've had some people to find me on WhatsApp and just start sending me players, and I'm like, I don't know you. Like, why would I respond to this message? When you go click on it, and it's like, oh man, okay, hey, Johnny can Ball. Johnny is a good infielder, so I might want to talk to this coach about Johnny's and see what's he looking at, what's he thinking about, and different things like that. So, man, I can tell you, I've been, after doing this for as a volunteer basis for so long, and being, like I said, only being paid like 3 times for this. um Again, I'm a hustler, no ifs ands or buts about it. When you got to go to work, and then when you go to work, and then after you leave Ole Miss, just playing a 9 inning game, get off the bus at 2 in the morning, and then you go straight from the bus straight to work. Take your hour lunch from 6 to 7 before the store opens, so you can get a little sleep and and get up, go to practice at 1 o'clock, and then be on the road the next day, that Thursday, traveling down to Houston for a week long trip. I mean, you tend to find ways and different things like that to be able to recruit. I mean, just like, some guys. Um, Buddy over at Southern, Coach Doolin. Me and him were talking about today about going to MVP. That's in Atlanta. That's where they bring all the minority baseball prospects, and they have different states. He was like, "Hey man, you need to come to this," and I was like, "I got to visit. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to come." He was like, "Hey, you better come, bro." So I'm thinking about trying to figure out how to get a flight out after my visit, or schedule my visit for allow the admissions department to kind of take over it, because again, like I said, they will do a much better job than I do. But I just like to be there in the kids' presence when they're visiting.
So, coach, right now, how many coaches do you have on staff right now? Is it just you?
It's just me, baby. One man show.
Oh,
It's me. Actually, we just had interviews today, and I have some interviews tomorrow for the pitching coach position. And then I'm going to try to get a part time position. That may be a battle, it may be a fight, but and then hopefully I can get some volunteers throughout the city to kind of, help with that roster size and different things like that. But right now it's just me. So every player who's committed, every player who says they're coming to Dillard, if you ever see it run across your Twitter feed and all this different stuff, they haven't talked to nobody on the athletic side but Coach Grant.
gotcha.
Again, like I said, it's just me. I would love to have some help. for several guys to come and help out. But again, you know, like I said, being a part of all those different programs, being able to work a job and try to find baseball as a career, being able to doing umpiring, to make money, make sure the family's great. My wife don't have to do any odd jobs or anything like that. And making sure again, like I said, we're taken care of. We don't have to. We didn't starve for food or anything. My experience was my experience, and I know a lot of people say I wouldn't change it for the world. I would love to change it for the world so that I can just jump right into coaching, but at the same time, it made me to be the coach that I am today. So that shaped me and molded me. So I needed that experience. I need to go through all those different things I went to, and continue to fight for, um, like you said, HBCU baseball.
Right. And one another follow up question, Coach. And this may be a little bit off of the subject here, but I want to get your thoughts as not only a black baseball player, which you've been,
Mm-hmm.
but also you've been an assistant coach at a HBCU, and now you're the head coach at the NAIA HBCU. Deion Sanders made some recent comments saying that black kids were being priced out of baseball.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on that, Coach?
So here's what I say to that. I think it goes both ways, right? And I'll use myself as an example, right? My again, I'm a young black male, right? I had three brothers, so my mom is a single parent. Well, my other brothers didn't play baseball like that. Of course, they played the rec league, and where it costs us $50 to play or $100 or whatever. I'm the one who we knew that was serious about baseball, that wanted to go play on the weekends, go play in these tournaments. I didn't go out of state, but from Biloxi all the way up to Memphis, we was going. We had to get hotels, all those different things. So what my mom would do, and this is why I say it will be both ways. You have kids, you're going to get tax money. My mom would just set that money aside, and then because she knew she was going to have to pay the so-called whatever, the $2,000 for me to play, for my uniforms, all those different stuff, have my fees and stuff like that, and then we needed the other money to travel with. So she would just set a certain amount aside so we wouldn't be struggling. So when that transition happened every summer, so that's the way she did it. Again, man, there's a lot of different things as parents that we pay for. That PlayStation 5 when it first came out, man, you know how long those lines was? That thing's $1,000. Well, that's a bat in the glove for a kid. We can't say that it's pricey because at the same time we go do what we need to do with different things. So again, I understand what he's saying. That travel ball costs a lot of money, and believe it or not, though, there's some travel ball organizations that are making bank right now. I know some travel ball coaches that make twice as what I make, and I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I coaching college baseball? But at the same time, I do it for the love and the recruiting. It gives me a rouse. It drives me. So it's always fun to put a team together. But like I said, it goes both ways. I mean, I get it what he's saying, but he is just looking. He's looking at it from mostly as a young guy when he was playing baseball, because a lot of times there are coaches that football coaches that in Pee Wee travel football, and when they get to middle school they handpick those teams. Hey man, look, don't go play baseball. Why don't you go play that? Ain't no black guys playing baseball. Man, they don't give out no full scholarships. They don't do this, they don't do that. So that's how it works against you in baseball. And then the kids that are in baseball, man, we don't really get the really good black kids. We don't. I'm gonna say, uh, some HBCUs don't get them. So it's just different. Again, like I said, it's two sides to it. So if parents want their kids to play baseball, they're gonna play baseball, point blank, period. But if they listen to other people and they don't want them to play because they looking at the stuff, they're looking at the NLI money, all those different things, then they're gonna go play football. If it's about the money, all those different things, hey, look, go play football. But if you want to really learn a foundation, you really want to have a grind, you really want to learn how to deal with failure and deal with it in a perfect way, hey, baseball's your sport.
Great answer, Coach. I love it. I keep my personal opinion to myself.
Yeah,
But
we don't want
again,
Jesus
man,
to go off. Yeah.
yeah,
No, well, I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is I coach football in Clayton County, middle school.
mhm,
We had kids that would play a middle school game with us on Tuesday and play a rec game on Saturday and would have a different helmet. And they would have those speed flex helmets. And anybody that knows anything about a speed flex helmet, that's a $400 helmet. Then
point
they would buy
exactly,
their own shoulder pads, paying $200, $300 for a pair of shoulder pads. So you just spent the same money for a bat and a glove on the helmet and the shoulder pads. So how are we
exactly.
priced out?
Exactly. Again, like I said, if they want to do it, they can do it. Um, and you just again, like I said, you just be strategic about it. Making sure that you understand. Okay, if my son is going to play travel baseball. I need to set up parameters. I need to put stuff to the side, and make sure that happens because you're gonna make sure he has those new J's for school. You're gonna make sure he has this and that for Christmas, his birthday, all those different things. That big fly party you're gonna throw for him. You're gonna make sure that is going with a bang. So why not invest into him now with this scholarship opportunity? I use this perfect example with our kids, right? A lot of our kids complain about paying our $150 enrollment fee, and I tell them all the time, all right, so we're giving away academic scholarships. So you're gonna not pay the $150 enrollment fee to maximize your dollar, and you can get $10,000. That doesn't make sense. That's over 100% return on your investment. Like, why wouldn't you not? So when they look at it like that, they have to sit back and be like, oh, okay, I never thought about it that way. So now you see where Slim, where you talk about that's that banking came out of me right there. That's that finance and stuff like that. So when you're able to simplify it for them, it makes sense. But then if you have those football coaches who are out there just bashing baseball, they're not gonna come play baseball. And believe it or not, you got some really really good athletes that play other sports that are really good at baseball. Just like the one kid who got drafted in the first round. Um, I think he was at Gonzaga or one of those schools who won the national Villanova. That kid was a, a Gold Glove outfielder throughout high school, but did not touch baseball in college. And now he's in the league with basketball. No, everybody wants the easy play, right? Nobody wants to go through the minor leagues and then continue to work and grind and get to the Major League Baseball. Everybody wants to go straight from NBA. I mean, straight from college to the NBA, straight from college to NFL. So again, like I said, there are a lot of smart parents out there, and you kind of understand and see how it's plays out and different things like that. And again, like I said, Dion's not wrong, but again, there's two sides to it. He just gave his side, and then we as baseball coaches or coaches who think about both sides, because I'm a diehard college football fan. Like, I will cancel a practice now that I'm a head coach, but to watch some college football. I mean, again, my mom's a diehard Jackson State fan. Can't stand them. I love y'all people. C-Town, Mississippi. I love y'all, but
I love you,
um,
mama. We
uh,
love you, mama.
oh man, you don't understand. You talking about somebody? My mama will literally, if it's a game going on, every weekend she gonna have on a different shirt. She gonna have on a brand new Jackson State shirt. It's gonna be something bedazzled out. It's gonna be, embroidered. It ain't no just something you just get off the streets. No, this is took time put into this. Like, she don't play about that. And she love herself some Coach Brown. So I can't talk too bad about her boy. I mean, because I'm a prime time fan, and I love what he's doing for HBCUs, and I hope it continues. And I just hope that we can kind of spread the wealth. Because I mean, in a sense, it's not all just about Jackson State. It's not just all about Howard. It's just not all about Southern. It's not all about Grambling. It's about unfortunately, I'm gonna say this. It's about Tougaloo College. It's about Rush College. Those colleges are right there in Mississippi. It's about Alcorn. Then when you come on down here to Louisiana, it's about us at Dillard. It's about our crosstown rival, Xavier University. It's about all of us. So when people say, um, "I don't like what he's doing. He only get money for Jackson State." Man, be quiet. Let that man work. He's not doing it just for them. It's for all of us. Y'all don't understand how this man just changed the city of Jackson. You guys don't understand how he's changed the city of Canton. In my opinion, like Amazon just came to Canton. What? Like, why would Amazon come to small Canton? 6,000 people, probably less now. Come on now. You don't tell me that Amazon wouldn't thrive better in a city like Jackson, a city like Pearl, Clinton, in my opinion, Madison, Mississippi, Bloodstack, who's up and coming, that's right next to Ken. Come on. But they came to Ken. You know how many diehard Jackson State fans are in Ken? Man, hey, let that man work. Let him do his job. Coach Prime, salute to you, brother. Um, at the same time, he told his side, and I like to say I stood up for our HBCU coaches and telling our side for baseball.
That's a good answer, Coach. This will be a two-part question for me. We know like your program isn't going to be what it's going to be 2 years from now or 3 years from now. And I know coaches don't like to talk about losing or thinking about it, but when programs are just starting out, whether it be college, high school, even at the pro level, there are going to be some growing pains along the way. As a first-year coach at a brand new program, how are you going to handle the adversity when and if it comes? And my second question is like, how do you measure success in your first year?
Gotcha. So me and my buddy, who went to Auburn University, when we were kids, we always had this saying: never forget where you came from, but always know where you're going. Right. So when we said that, it was like, man, we see time for life. We'll never forget where we came from, but we always want to go and be doing better. So let's say, for instance, man, God forbid, but we have a shaky start. We go through the season and it's not the best season in the world. We gonna have some growing pain. It's gonna happen. Well, we gotta take those and we gotta plaster those everywhere. It's gotta be on the walls. It gotta be at practices. I'm gonna make that. I'm gonna make noise about it all day, every day, because I want them to understand that this is not who we have to be. We can be so much better. And getting them to understand, it's a part of it. It's the growing pains. We're gonna we're gonna grow through it, right? It's gonna be times where we're gonna play against. Shoot, man, I got games scheduled against LSU, Alexandria, Louisiana Christian. Having got LSU Shreveport, who's always ranked in the top 10. Just in down in New Orleans, you got Loyola University, who's always ranked in the top 25, and probably will eventually play them eventually. We're gonna play some really stiff competition. We're gonna play some really good, and I'm not running. I haven't ran from anybody. If you're in my area, I'm not running. I mean, now if you're, 7 hours away, I'm looking at budget first year, and I'm like, catch me in 2 years when I raise some money and I kind of figure out the budget and how we can strategically place things and make sure we can make that trip without any issues. We'll make that happen. But you just got different things that can happen. For you, and different things like that. And then what was the second part?
Oh yeah, how are you going to measure success your first year?
A win.
That's it. To be honest with you, man, I can't. I don't think that there's any other way to measure success because, like I tell everybody, and everybody's always saying, "Well, coach, it's your first year, and
Right.
what's your point? What is your point?" Like, I can use this for an example, right? Look at Dion in his first year, not counting the COVID season, but come on, man. Like, what are we talking about here? If I can't see success out of myself, and have a vision for the program to be successful, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm not. I don't have a thought process. I'm not clearly listening to God on why He put me in this position, because it all happened for a reason. I went through those things that I went through. I volunteered for so long. I got paid little to nothing for so long, working those odd jobs, being an umpire, all those different things to get to a point where I can make sure that when I get the opportunity, that I make sure that I never go back to what I was before. And again, like I said in the beginning, knowing where I come from, but I always know where I'm going.
You on mute, Ralph? I said you're on mute.
All right, can y'all hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Coach, who are some of the young men that you've signed already to come in? And also, two-part question. And also, after you name those young men that you signed, anybody that you want to acknowledge that's helped you along your way, you got it.
All right. So nobody get offended because I know I'm gonna leave out some names and different things like that. But first ever recruit, Ty Mitchell out of Greenville, Mississippi. He went to East Central Community College. Then my two Liberty guys, Caleb and Kobe, Quality out of Florida. Um, Man, I'm drawing a blank now already. You got Jaden in out of Georgia. Then you got another Jaden that's in Slidell. I got oh my god, I think I got like 6 or 7 Texas boys. So you got Dylan, you got Dylan Scott, you got Brandon Dickerson, you got Javon Thompson, you got Julian Keys, Christian Hilliard. I'm trying to think of I'm missing one. But again, like I said, don't be offended if I didn't call your name. But those are just the Texas kid. I got a kid coming out of Colorado, Nolan Daniels. Trying to think. Man, it's been a lot of them and different things like that. And as far as mentioning people who've helped me with like recruiting or helped me just anytime in my career.
That's helped you in your baseball journey, whether it was as a player or whether it don't matter. Anybody that helped you in your baseball journey, Coach.
Well, gotcha. Well, I got to give a shout out to my first ever boss in baseball. I don't think he's coaching anymore. I think he's doing some apparel side things. Coach Neil Grote at Hendrix College, but then the biggest mentor that I had so far being Carlos James at head baseball coach at University of Arkansas Pine Bluff, and then going on to Coach Crenshaw at Southern, Coach Doolin at Southern, Coach Jackson, who's now the head coach at University of Memphis, Coach Edwin Thompson, who's also the head coach at Georgetown. A good guy that I met kind of through Edwin and talking to him and different things like that. Coach Bolden, who's at one of the University of Wisconsin Division III schools. I don't make it so many of them. I can't think of it. Man, it's been even back down to your high school coaches who poured so much into me. Coach Randall Montgomery, who ran out to the football dream and left us hanging when we finally start to understand the game, and he taught the way he was teaching us. And of course, man, I was probably the most hard-headed thing in the world, but he stayed in my butt. Like, I was a catcher, man. He would yell at me all day, every day for no reason. But I grinded, I got after it, and I had the biggest attitude in the world. But he stuck with me. I appreciate him. Coach Melvin Gillum in high school. He's just, that's the reason why I always wore the number 24. And then also because the number 4, my 4 brothers, and then me being kind of the parent in the household, being the man of the house, and then my mom. That's where the 2 stem from. She wore number 4 throughout her career. I wore number 24, and then I gravitated to number 4 when my second year in junior college, and I was just flipped back and forth between 4 and 24, and those are significant numbers for me. But most of all, got to thank the the 4 beautiful women who raised me, being my grandmother, Miss Easton Dixon, who can throw down, and Dion, if you want to really get some good food, you need to holler at my grandma. But my mom, Annie Grant, very big, instrumental in my life, even to this day. My aunties, Miss Ella Thomas, and then Miss Sharon Smith. They laid the foundation. 9 grand boys. We call ourselves the E9. My grandmother's name Easter, so we call ourselves the E9. And we were some tough jokers, man. When I tell you we gave those ladies everything they can handle, but they handled it and handled it well. It was very fun growing up with my cousins and being, one of the oldest, and just seeing how it followed, and we're doing all great in our careers. Nobody's, you know, we could have went a different route, and we were bad kids, and we went been to jail, all those different things. But we kind of all are doing real in our careers, businesses, and different things like that, and we're continuing to striving, and making sure, because we were 9 grand boys, and we're all having girls now, so we're making sure, as girl dads, that we set a good foundation, and do different things the right way. So if don't feel bad if I miss you guys, man. It's just, wasn't expecting that question, and I wanted to make sure I give a shout out. But Dillard University, shout out to you, everybody, from the new president all the way down, athletic staff. You guys are always on my heart, and as well as the new players that's going to be coming in. Can't wait to get you guys on campus, meet you guys again face to face, and we're going to have some fun this year.
Right. And there's one thing we forgot to mention, Coach. You all play in the only NAIA HBCU conference.
We do, yes.
In the Gulf South Atlantic Conference.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's the only NAIA HBCU conference.
Yep.
Don't get it confused with the Gulf South Conference, which is D2. They are the Gulf Coast Athletic Conference. So they're the GCAC.
Yeah, like Dr. Barnes said, GCAC rising, baby. That's her new saying. So, but yeah, we are the only one, and we just got 6 teams, so we'll have a championship, and then we'll get an automatic bid to get into a regional. So
that is major right there, Coach.
Yeah, that's exciting as well. So
that's major.
One of our teams are, and then of course, teams are still participating in the Black College World Series. You may see somebody participate in the Black College World Series and then turn around and go into a regional. I don't know who's going to be crazy enough to do that, but I mean, it could be us. If I ask the kids, hey man, how y'all want to do? Y'all want to go play this and then turn around and get into a regional? They say they up to the challenge. Hey man, I'm not going to stop those kids. If it's in the budget, I'm going to let them have fun. I'm going to let them play. Especially if we're at a point where we're making history, like I think we're going to make, and making a lot of good noise. It's going to be fun.
And recruits. How can a recruit get in touch with you, Coach?
Best way right now is my email. So it's tsgrant@dillard.edu. Send me an email, Twitter. You can look me up as Coach Grant 42. Look at the Dillard Baseball Twitter. I manage that as well. So making sure that there's multiple different ways to reach out to me. Instagram, however you want to do it. You type in Trennis Grant, something dealing with the social media is gonna pop up. So message me. If I don't get back to you, I just ran through my messages all yesterday. Cleaned them out, making sure I respond to every kid. If you're 2023 or 2020, 2024, I'm just letting you know that I'm making sure I take care of this first class first. So once those guys get there on August 10th, man, I'll be really having conversations with the 2023s and 2024s. And that's not saying that I'm not recruiting and I'm not looking, because I follow a lot of guys When guys follow me, they follow the baseball Twitter, and I've run through Twitter looking at everything on my Twitter is now baseball stuff. So making sure that I'm staying in the know with all the different recruits and making sure not only it's important for me to not only when a kid reaches out to me, but it's important to respond. Let them know that you see it, even if I just hit the like button or respond back and say with a small message. It's important to me to let them know that they're wanted and that I see it. But any 22s out there that are pitchers, still available, get at me. Transfer students, junior college pitchers. Hey, like Coach Prime says, hey man, them DMs open.
Oh, and what academic requirement would they need, Coach, to be able to qualify for Dillard?
Okay, so as a high school student, you need to have, in order to, I'm gonna tell you like this, and we're still giving out academic money. So in order to qualify, well, to get in, you need to have a 2.5 and an 18, or whatever the 18 is equivalent to on the ACT. As a high school kid, as far as a junior college and a transfer, you just need to have a 2.0, and then you can be accepted.
Gotcha. Well, Coach, on behalf of the boys on the hill, I want to thank you for coming on, share some of your time with us. I know you're a father, so we appreciate you for giving us some of your family time tonight. Appreciate you for also giving us, just the opportunity to give Dillard baseball some exposure. We're excited to see what the program is going to do, and just excited to see where it's going to go in the next couple of years. Thank you, Coach. That's all.
Yep.
Ain't nothing else
Yes,
I can
sir.
say.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you, Coach.
Appreciate it. Well, I mean, I can definitely say this: we'll have another interview, and it's going to be on the great side of things. So we'll have another one probably around about May next year. And you'll be like, Coach, yeah, you told us so. Hey, remember that.
Yeah, we
like
sure will, Coach.
Hey, we're all fans of HBCU baseball, and you're in the NAIA circuit, so we don't have to worry about cheering against you because you don't never play against Jackson.
Oh my
But
gosh,
we
yeah.
we always
If
gonna keep
y'all
y'all
if, if y'all play against Southern, we're gonna cheer. We're gonna cheer for you though, for real.
Yeah, no,
They
they're not gonna play.
He ain't gonna, they ain't gonna play Subs, man.
Well, we can, but he ain't gonna play against us. It's not happening. I don't think he's gonna play against us. Not saying that they're scared or anything like that. It's just the mere fact that first year program, how would that look if my guys go out there and kind of beat them? That kind of hurts on recruiting, and at the same time, it doesn't really matter for NAA program to go play a Division I program. You want that to happen. You want to kind of go out there and get the guaranteed money and all those different things, but that's my boy. They're my boys over there. I mean, if they want to play, we can play. But if they don't, I'm not gonna fight them or anything like that. I have reached out to some Division I schools to kind of play because I came from that world, so I'm not scared to play against nobody. I want to see how we stack up against anybody. So,
All right. So, thank you, Coach.
yes, sir.
I'm Thomas Black, Slim Marshall, 5,000 watts in his absence. It's your boy Rap Jesus signing off. The boys on the hill. We out.